to Technique, the official tech fest of MPSCME and MIMS Mumbai. Team Technique strives to achieve the pinnacle of quality and bring out the finest in everyone, and is now back with its 15th edition. Our pre-event, Cypher, aims to provide a platform to, to both budding and experienced coders alike. The hackathon took place yesterday from 5:30 p.m. till 11:30 a.m. today, where hundreds of teams participated and gave their best at solving intricate life problems. Today, the contenders will present to the panel the ideas, innovations, and hard work they have put in over the previous 18 hours. The jury is made up of some of the best in their fields with years of experience. We'd like to present our panel's first member. Priya Jain ma'am has 3.5 years of experience working at Anything you guys would like to add?
I have a couple of questions actually. Shruti,
edition.
No proper research of particular areas or localities. India, a developing country like India, has a lot of population, and so it is not as easy to research about every area or locality, as India has quite a lot of geographical area and all types of terrain are present in the country. The second point is the connectivity to that area by transport. So, as I just said, connectivity, India has all types of terrain, and many people don't have the money to get their own cars or buses or trucks to go to a particular area, and nor are there much roads, not is there much road network to certain areas. So that makes the connectivity quite difficult. And in many areas, there are mountains and a steep terrain, which makes it difficult to make any train or road. The third reason is availability of required amount of energy in the area. So, India, so in a country like India, not all parts of the country have basic essentials like electricity or firewood. So,
We can avoid that by storing the pressure applied by the tires, converting it to electricity, and then using it in the future. So this can be one of the ways. Secondly, we can use solar panels on the roof of the cars. It is more very helpful in the at times when the sunlight is available. Just like the concept of solar panels for electricity generation. We can use those in the roof of the cars. So we can similar to piezo disc, we can store them in a storage unit, and we can use them further in the future for charging the batteries, and thus providing an alternative for not using the uh, new energy source. We can just use the energy from the vehicle itself for charging the battery. Now Ria will take over.
Yeah. So the third method is to gradually convert from petrol pumps to EV charging infrastructures. So our main aim here would be to decrease the number of petrol cars that are being in use and replace them with electronic vehicles. So for this, we will also need a number of charging stations to be set up. So using this method, we can save time at rest, but the engine is on, the battery is getting drained. So in order to conserve battery, if the engine switches off after 30 seconds, then we can save a lot of battery. Now Palak will continue with the benefits. Also, this is a comparison chart between the global warming emission that is given out by electronic vehicles and then conventional vehicles.
Okay, so it's like we are talking about the benefits of electronic vehicles so as to relate it to the points like how we can employ the above method discussed and make it a better approach. So first, low noise pollution. Uh, we all know that when the petrol cars or the petrol vehicles, bikes, scooters, etc., when they run a harsh noise or the engine noise is made, which is sort of irritating for some group of people, and also noise causes pollution, right? So this electrical vehicles can overcome this thing of noise pollution. So relating it to the points that we have discussed above, it is relatable to the solar panel thing uh, because the solar panel it's a concern for many people that the electric vehicles are very costly. So why should we buy it? So we can use materials which are not like recent. Currently, it is made up of lithium, copper, platinum, aluminium, and to some extent, graphite is used in the making of electrical vehicles. So we can see if there is any alternative to that. So the one thing can be achieved in if we get to the better alternative. The low maintenance cost is a considerable benefit because it if the cost of initial buying cost of the electric vehicle is low at the starting, so the people will tend to go towards electric vehicles. And furthermore, so everyone knows it that electrical vehicles don't cost us when we go ahead for the maintenance. It is at many places the maintenance cost is reduced as compared to the petrol vehicles.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we're a little limited on time.
Natural resources. For example, like we talked about solar panels, this will also help us find alternative ways to create energy and also help the environment, since the emission reduced will be much lesser, practically negligible. Now moving on, we have displayed a basic prototype in the form of a website. So we've created a website where we have outlined all of the methods that we can employ in making electric vehicles more efficient. On
It
the
is
next
more
slide,
of like
there's the code.
the sort of website which we see that ways to do this, and it's a website like that. So this is the code for it. I'll just show the yeah. So this is what we have made in here. Like we aim to include we didn't have any idea about electrical vehicles and all that, honestly, but we aim to do that through this website. We can generate awareness.
and a charge and a solar
Ishan,
power.
sorry to interrupt you, but could you please wrap your presentation up?
Is used to navigate the particular EV present in a particular geographical area, where if a EV is standing in a particular area and there is a EV station, so how much distance is there from the particular EV is known through an app which we will be making to know the uh, exact distance from the particular EV. And next is the GPS. When the EV is off, then the EV is off, it stores and return the energy to the grid. This basically helps in us to balance and demand the grid can help to reduce the cost of EV, which is our main motive to reduce the cost and the time.
Yeah. So these are the main issues that we will overcome with our model, so which we came through with. So the time consuming issues. So suppose we go to a charging station, there are many cars there, so we have to wait and our time gets wasted, and the high cost of the EVs, complex charging infrastructures, and as well as so these all things we will overcome with our model. So what are the features of our project? So it is simple and systematic. We looked towards it should be low maintenance, and it should be easy to access through apps by using IoT, and it should optimize the use of space. So our ideas and approaches, we use two approaches here. The first approach was smart charge, and the second approach was smart vehicle parking infrastructures using IoT. So the flow of our system is, suppose the users gets activated. So we will, through our application, we will determine the route. If it is the usual route or it is the longer route. If it will be the usual route, then we will check the availability of the parking space. We will be using the parking space of the colleges and the premises of the colleges or office, suppose. So that region. So if we will check the availability, if there will be the availability, then we will charge and the process ends. If there will be no then we will check the emergency charge or relocate the nearest charging station, and the process ends. And suppose it is not the usual route, you are not going to your college or office, it's some different route. So we'll locate the nearest availability of EV station.
It's the EV station, and there's a maximum capacity of charging five vehicles at a time. So the first IR sensor we have placed that will be taking the number of incoming cars or maybe EVs present there, and the another IR sensor is used to know the number of EV vehicles that are being charged and move or passed. So if first vehicles comes here, if the present vehicle are less than or equal to 5, will be said that you are free to charge here, or else you move towards the next EV station. Thus, this process will be further carried out according to the condition will be given. And once the particular EV is charged, then the outside IR sensor that is placed at the exit of the vehicle passes, then we will be decrementing the number of vehicle passed with the number of vehicle present. Thus, the number of vehicle passed, there will be empty spaces for the new EVs to be charged there.
Yeah.
Now let's look over our second approach that we have introduced, smart vehicle parking infrastructure using IoT. So this is basically a parking lot that can be anywhere, just as railway station or maybe college or offices, etc. And there's an EV station, like particular there is a charging point for all the common terminals we are given to all the like section in the slots in the parking. So vehicle will be acting through app that will be making the, and we will be naming as Eviot. So in application, it will give a request to the EV station whether there is a parking space or there is availability of the parking space or not. Then EV station will be giving a feedback to the application if it is already occupied. But in case if some user have an emergency, like any kind of emergency is there, and he have to or she has to park the vehicle at that moment,
One was the issue of affordability, and the other was the lack of charging points for electric vehicles in our country or in general. So we chose to choose the topic which we found more concrete in terms of data, and we chose to deal with the issue of creating more stations for charging. So let's all begin with the concept of EV. As a country, let's say, as we speak as a country, we are all looking to developing, and electric vehicles are one of the key ways to go forward with using renewable resources and conserving resources, and at the same time optimizing what we already have. So let's begin with a few advantages of EV. So there's obviously reduction of carbon dioxide, and it's a sustainable source. It's cheaper to buy. Like I can say that the investment, it's a long-term investment. So the maintenance for an electric vehicle would, in the long run, is much less than that for a normal automobile. And there are many such advantages out of which we've listed a few here. So our issue right now is the
solving here is suppose we have a car and we have very low battery of that. So we are resolving that issue. Suppose the out of 10, 9 our ports are using the cars. So we reserve one for the emergency car. So that's what we are using it for.
Okay, so this crossed marks are the ones.
Would you have added?
I actually had some good ideas. I didn't just want or not. What I actually wanted was that how much money is he approximately going to earn. I tried doing that, but it wasn't possible for me to do it.
May I add some more question? May you show quickly the database CSV columns in a Jupyter notebook, just to take a look of features that you used to train? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, there's a database, right?
Yep, thank you very much.
All right. No more doubts?
No, just only thank you for your project.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, judges. We'll be
Thank you so
leaving.
much,
Thank you,
Gautam.
sir.
That was a wonderful application. Next up, we have, just for the judges, once again, this was team number 21, Capture, consisting of Tatsam, Janil, and Arpan. Next up, we have team JVK, consisting of Ayush, Rohan, and Aniket. Ayush, Rohan, and Aniket, if you are here with us, please switch on your cameras and start your screen sharing.
Or maybe some additional features that we're gonna be used. So the particular IoT will sense your device, or maybe initially the app would ask you to give the basic details or the model number or the.
So given the time constraint, we thought maybe we'd make a tiny code. So
in the given amount of time and knowledge we had, we thought we could just use a database which we made made by using Google. So in future, if we get more knowledge and time, we could use APIs which are available in Google and make our system more vast, which will be helpful in a larger scale.
our whole motive for this code was using the data that we have sufficiently to properly convey our solution to making EVs more accessible. Thank you so much for your time. Would you like to ask us any questions?
Prashant, sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah. First of all, may I know your names? Sania and Prathamesh, right?
Prathamesh,
yes, sir.
Prathamesh, yeah. To both of you, congratulations. You've done a good job.
The thing that you will be having to think upon. Both are the major factors that will block you in building the system.
Yeah, sir, we will surely look upon that.
Yeah. You can continue.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I would like to request team.
Through that, we could calculate the frequency of charging stations which is required in the route.
Okay. I understand your point. So you're gonna program a code, a function that will help a user to find a convenient charging station using Google Maps and Google APIs to Google database, right?
Yes.
As you're trying to say. Yeah, that's a good concept. I believe this is something we've been using, like all of us, we daily use. Even finding when you're traveling in your car, you find petrol. You can find petrol pumps, right? On your Google Map. So in the same way, that can be done possibly. And yeah, one thing I really liked is that you said based on the frequency of the car that are coming to a one junction or one point, suppose a marketplace or some place, there are hundred of cars coming every hour on an everyday basis. You can segregate the electrician to some distances so that there will be no conjunction at a point. That is very thoughtful. I really liked it. But to be honest, when come to charging station, there is a high risk of charging too many vehicles at at a closer room, or I would say closer environment. So that's very thoughtful from you.
It is doing check suitability for the new station. That's what it is. If there are more than 2 slots available, minimum 2 slots available at the next station, then we get assigned that new charging station. And this is the charge car, which is suppose we have booked our slot at the charging station, then we can charge our car. And if not, then there will be another message popping up that it is not charged. So this was our whole project. The smart parking and charging of electric vehicles is a crucial aspect of building a sustainable and efficient transportation system.
Of the weight of the vehicles, to be honest. So it would not be feasible for any user to have an extra battery on his vehicle. It will be an extra weight to the vehicle. So it will discharge. The more the weight in the car, the more petrol or the more the fuel it will consume. So what you can do, think of like that. You can build a network of your, suppose you're a company and you're providing these charging services. You have the station, and plus you also provide your customer with the service that if they find their vehicles battery low at some point of time, they can connect to the team, and whichever their the service center are close to them will bring a charge battery to the vehicle. That is one of the way it could be done. But yeah, maybe you can be right. I mean, as per my thinking, I believe the batteries are very heavy. If in future we could have lightweight batteries, and then it will be possible to carry an extra battery with as well. But good thought, Sania.
Yeah, thank you.
Valeri, sir, your views on the presentation?
Okay, it was a good presentation. There's good ideas. One of the question: what if you travel from point A to point B, and will you think about some suggestions to users to?
Okay, so do we have all three, Karthik, Veer, and Dia, with us over here in the meeting?
EV vehicles, right? But in our website, we'd show the transportation facilities, we'd show people that whether the public transport is available without compromising with their budget, with their time, and with their luxury wasted. So that's why we want to boost the adoption of electric vehicles and public transport at the same time to reduce this environment stress, because we know that there's no space for private vehicles now on the road. And this is the usage of vehicles in India, which has been increasing drastically since 2010. That is what our website wants to do. It wants to boost the usage of EV vehicles. It will show people whether an EV vehicle is ready to is available for rental basis, which EV vehicle is available, or if an EV vehicle is not available, which public transport is available from which destination, from which location to destination. Further, my friend Ankit will carry on.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Ankit, we'd like to request you to turn on your camera if that's possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can begin.
So yeah, we have created a website in which the current location of the user is inputted via code. We have used the API called IP API geolocation from JSON.
So because of this, EVs are most widely used over there. Then on how to reduce cost of EVs, so we have this infinity loop which says we need to have charging infrastructure. We need to do research in battery technologies, as currently a vehicle, the battery accounts to 30 to 40% of the overall vehicle cost. So we need to we need to design an optimized battery. We need to have supplementary industries, that is the local industries helping us. We need partnerships with the governments, and we need capital investments. So one of the reasons that we found out was, can falling battery prices push electric cars? So yes, currently as 30 to 40% of a vehicle cost is the battery. So if we reduce the battery charges, of course we can, the people would be more willing to buy EVs. I would like Karthik to read further.
Yeah, thank you, Dia. I'm Karthik Pillai, and I would be covering the topic of mileage improvement. We are intended to increase the driving range of an electrical vehicle. We do not only calculate the
Ansh, we can't see your screen.
No, there's some technical issue.
Just a second, I'll share it. Wait a minute.
Okay, okay.
Screen. So, can you see our screen?
We can, yeah.
Okay, so this is our main website code. We have used only HTML and CSS. As I clarified in the beginning, we couldn't integrate the JavaScript with our front-end programming due to lack of time. And this is our website. You enter your current location, you enter your destination, time, and you search the availability, whether a public transport or whether an EV vehicle is available to rent or not.
So basically, when you tap on enter your location, the Google API directly takes your location from IP address, and you don't have to type your entire location. And when you enter the destination, you will directly get some options that are pre-entered, and you can select one of them. And then when you select when you go to, okay, continue.
Yep, this is a short representation of our prototype, idea prototype. That's why we have entered only few selective destinations. But if we go into depth, we can choose any kind of destination we want to go to. Then here is our about us. And this is our services. And this would be contact us tab.
Yeah, hi Akash. Just a quick question here.
Yep.
You are taking the current location, the destination, and date and time, right?
Yeah.
When I click on search with the company, right, you will be providing these EVs, private vehicles.
So what our idea was, see, Ritvik, what our idea was, we were going to be we have created our company as such that we will provide those EVs as the transport vehicles directly.
No, that is
we are
correct. I'm asking about the automobile company or the existing companies who would be routing to your website to enable their feature, right? Let's say Uber launches 100 EVs in your city. So you would be partnering with Uber to show that 100 vehicles that are available?
Yeah, we would be, right?
Okay, so this is your case. And in case of public transports, what all or the transport types? So let's say
buses, for example. Now, bus is also not that great of a solution because it's as same as a car, but it accommodates a lot of people at the same time, right?
No, public transport is the
public
transport is the best option.
Metro is much better than that. Railway trains are there, and we would be showing most comfortable options where people and passengers don't have to compromise with their budget or time, right? And comfort.
So see, we have 3 different options. Bikes, like we had decided that we would have 3 different options. One was bike, the second was cars, and the third was public transport like buses, either versus metro or the railway.
Okay. So basically here you are creating a website as an aggregator to aggregate all the information of transportations
Exactly.
that a user can have.
Yes.
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 So for that also you would require to get in touch with all transportations possible, right? All the buses
Yeah.
which are available at that time.
So we'd have
or
to
all the,
make partnerships with other companies or
correct.
dealers. That's
The
what.
government vehicles, government buses, or the government monthly trains. So you would also need to integrate with them for the data if they will be sharing with you or not, right?
Yeah.
For their current transfers. Okay.
Any other questions, sir?
No. Can move on.
Team.
Yeah.
So
The first.
okay, so when you are populating the matrix, is it random? How are you populating? Are you taking an input from some other file, or it's just an
No.
example that you've taken?
For example, we will cover an area with no charging ports. So we will populate the matrix with zeros, which indicates no charging ports are available at that area. So that's how we will populate the zeros. And after that, to install the charging ports, we will call the stations function. And in the station functions, it will check the overlapping of the charging ports. So if the charging ports is like very far or near, it will check vertically or horizontally and diagonally in the matrix that how much far is the next charging port. So according to that, the matrix will assign the value 1 and we get the answer.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You could begin with your presentation till that time.
There's not enough space for storage to in the CPU.
So essentially, as I said, we'll be storing racks, right? Racks of batteries and their charging stations and components. Obviously our design would be focused on being able to store them, behind a bus station, for example. So like it shouldn't one station shouldn't accommodate for more than 23 units of batteries, and that I'm talking about when we have different types of batteries. So I wouldn't think that it would take like 600 square foot of space. It's essentially vertically placed battery system, which can be done in small space as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
The judges have finished with their queries and filled out their remarks. We can move on to the next team. I personally think your solution was very carefully thought out. I loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi Danish. What's the team's name? I didn't catch the name of the team.
This team's name was Muten Roshan. Mutenroshy.
Sorry, can you spell it again?
Muten.
Is my screen visible? I'll share the screen with energy. And it is efficient because it provides a better solution for the environment than the normal vehicles like those that work on petroleum, CNG, etc., etc. So let us see the current scenario. As we know that in many developing countries, the high cost and limited availability of traditional transportation is making it difficult for the businesses to access these services of EVs. We also know that electrical vehicles are highly expensive, so it cannot be afforded by a wider audience. And it is also limited by factors as lack of charging stations, lack of charging stations, lack of awareness, etc. So now we are here to present you a 4-step solution that tackles the issue of high expense of electric vehicles. So the first step for the solution is government incentive, encouraging the local manufacturers. So as we all know, we cannot make electric vehicles feasible on day-to-day basis unless the government steps in. So what the government can do is it can provide subsidies on raw materials so that the manufacturing cost of vehicle can reduce. The second step is the government incentive. As we all know, for the electric vehicles to be a day-to-day topic in our lives, the government needs to create more awareness. The government can create awareness to the buyer by introducing vehicles like electric bikes, electric autos, electric cars, and encourage the general public by telling them the benefits of electric vehicles as compared to the traditional vehicles. The third, one of the major problems is charging stations. So the government has started this electric vehicle mission. So what they aim to do is by 2030, they want that only electric vehicles should be sold in India. So for that to happen,
proper legislation guidelines should be addressed in the future by the government to
in public centers like malls can be set up as well. Now for the app rentals, Ritika, are you there?
Yeah, am I audible?
You are, yes, perfect.
Yeah, she'll introduce it now. So for the app rentals, we are here providing you a solution, which is electric vehicle rental service. So what electric vehicle rental service does is, it provides the user to select what kind of vehicle it needs, and it charges on basis of kilometer travel by the user.
we need to take a proper battery recycling should be done. Further on, Rohal will explain.
So myself Rohan, and I will explain another solution, which is battery exchange. So it is similar to how we go about working with cylinders in our life. As we exchange our empty cylinders with filled and exchange it with filled ones, similarly we can provide charge batteries in petrol pumps. The customers can then reach the power stations and replace that drain.
Go to the next slide. So we have 3 vehicles. One is electrical bikes, electric cars, and electric auto rickshaw. And we can use these.
Here is a quote. The time is right for electric cars. In fact, the time is critical. The time is critical because we know the fossil fuels are getting depleted, and this is the best time we can switch to EVs. This is our team, JVK, Rohan
Recording
Magdu,
in progress.
Aniket Mishra, and Ayush Rajbar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, team JVK. Moving on, we have, before that, judges, do you have any questions for team JVK?
Yes, that you could share with us, or?
Yes, we have built a website actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that is it for team JVK. This was team number 20, judges. Moving on, we have team number 30, Rookie Bite, consisting of Anish, and DB.
Can I show you the website?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, if you have 2 minutes, you can just share pretty quickly.
Okay.
Of nearby charging stations. For the fees charge, we have created a system in which we have minimized the fees that can be charged as per kilometer basis. We've given the user choices like driving their own car, sharing, and hiring a driver. So I'll show you the working. And this works on QR scan. So this is a demo model. We'll show you the working. One second.
So this is the home page. We are just addressing the issue here. So this is a charging page. Aniket will explain.
Team JVK, you guys have already finished your time limit, so if you could just wrap this up a little quickly.
Okay. So I want to show the main highlight of this website. We created a map. Here we will get to know the power stations near us, which will charge electric vehicles. So the users can see. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team JVK. Moving on, we have team number 30, Rookie Byte, consisting of Anish, Chinmay, and Divi. I believe Divi is here with us. So Divi, if you could switch on your camera and please share your screen.
Just a second. Okay. See, that is more the chair there. Is this visible? Rafa, is this visible?
Yes, Divi, we can see your screen.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, we can
Hello,
hear you.
am I audible? Huh.
Yeah.
Actually, the main impact to create on the people is not about just by creating the stations. The main impact we can create is by due to the performance of the in-vehicles. How can we make it more affordable and the more accessible to the peoples? So on the basis of that, we had designed a rough design of the car that works on the mechanism of wind turbo shaft. What the mechanism is like, the screen is visible now.
Yes, we can see your screen and we can hear you. Don't worry.
And it's like when a car is moving with a average velocity, what happens like there is a create of the air drag and the velocity which creates up the vacuum. So what are we going to do is like we are setting up the channel in the chambers like the grill of the grill in front of the car, from where the passage will take the air to the shaft, and it will hit on the point of the shaft, which will create a rotatory motion, and the rotatory motion creates and the DC amplifying current that accessibly charge our batteries.
So we plan to incorporate one more battery in every car, which will get charged due to this wind pressure. So we are streamlining the flow of flow of air directly to the turbines, which will then rotate, producing DC current, which is stored in the second battery.
Charging stations in the future. Because this project is being looked कि future में ऐसा होगा, not अभी के, in the near future, yeah.
Okay, got it. So main dependability is on the government. If the government
Yeah, of course, it
takes this
depends
up,
on it.
then you can do it.
हाँ.
Okay, got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, team 404 Not Found, for such an insightful presentation. Now we'd like to move on to team Powerpuff Girls to present their work on the following problem statement.
After sales services, limited access to information and all. And the solutions can be public-private partnership, foreign direct investment, government procurement. Like government can technical assistance, international cooperation, import tariff reduction, and all.
The next is limited access to the electricity. So like limited charging options will be there, and then longer charging time it will take, and which reduces the range indirectly. Next is increased cost of ownership, and the ownership cost will also go high, and then it will have a limited battery life. Here are the possible solutions for it. Like one solution is we can have a solar charge station, and another is we can have lithium ion batteries so that we can store excess energy. The next is limited awareness, continued by Pranav.
Limited awareness, there are few reasons, like lack of education. Many people are not educated about electrical vehicles, limited understanding of incentives, limited understanding of charging infrastructure and all, and limited trust in new technology. Like most people doesn't trust new technology, upcoming technology and all, and limited access to information. Like there are no access, there is a less access in information about EV models. And
create a program wherein a user can input their current address, and in turn, our program will return the nearest electric vehicle charging station locations on the map. So how does our idea help everyone? So while designing our solution, we place our main focus on India from a broader pool of developing nations.
And transportation equity, reduce the social cost of transportation. Like if you have like investing in an electric vehicle is a one-time investment. Like later the cost of transportation is reduced. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the present.
Valeri sir, questions or?
Okay, so you mentioned that you're going to you need to government investments, yes, and how you are going to be attracted to government to start invest.
Like a government should understand, like firstly, I guess they should prioritize the EV vehicles. They should understand the benefits of having an EV vehicle. Firstly, the environment will be safe from this. Secondly, we have also discussed like it will help in increase the economy of the country. So like government should look upon that factors and promote some policies so that people will be encouraged to use EV vehicles.
And also government should be have a collaboration with the companies and implant more charging infrastructure, charging stations. Let's say as a developing country, it may be a high toll, but it I guess there should be there should be minimum one charging.
As a result, our program will return to you all the charging stations which are within a 10-kilometer radius of your current address. And furthermore, it will also, demonstrate your current address on the map, as well as all the addresses of the charging stations shown in the earlier table. The blue icon shows our current location, and the green icons, if
no, but not a single entity can bring change to the country like us, India.
That we have entered. Now, coming to the future scope, for future developments, our aim is to make our program more useful, more user-friendly, and to do this, we would like to deploy these functionalities over the web. Thus, our website can then be easily accessed by the user over the internet.
We'll be happy to answer any questions you all have. Before answering your questions, we would request that we can show the working of our program and demonstrate it to you all.
Yes, you could go ahead for that.
Right. So I'll just run everything. So for this, let us take a little more specific location. In our PPT, we already showed you how we can get a generalized location wherein it would take the city center. If I want a more specific location, I'll take it something like this. So I take the exact address I want. And this is, I feel, significantly more useful because if you're stranded on the road somewhere and you want to put your exact address, not just the city center or something. Okay. So I've taken the address of the Taj Mahal. I enter it. And
Tech Titans is your whole team here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get 10 minutes to present your solution to the judges. Please go ahead.
Yes, sure. Okay. So, good afternoon, judges. We are Tech Titans, and today we are presenting you on EV A to Z, a one-stop destination for your EV needs. Next. So, let's understand the current deadlock, and we won't be wasting much.
okay, so here we have our output. Sorry, there are no EV charging stations within a 10-kilometer radius. However, the program will provide us with the closest charging station beyond 10 kilometers. So as we can see, it's a station called Circle Test Station, which is 13 kilometers from Goa. And I'll show this to you all on the map as well. I'll download this. And so map 15.
So, yeah, as we can see here, the EV sales of four-wheelers is only densely situated where the electric stations are quite more. Like it's only there in tier 1 cities like Lucknow, Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore. All other EV sales are only two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and buses which are only bought by the corporations for their municipal transportation, right? So as we can see here, if we take an example of a state like Maharashtra, most of the EV sales are only situated in Mumbai, Pune, and some and other tier 2 cities like Kolhapur, Nagpur, or Aurangabad, Nashik. So we can see here, we can also see that 74% of EV sales in the state are in Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad, and those are also mostly two-wheelers. Four-wheelers are also quite less. And when we go to tier 2 or tier 3 cities, the four-wheeler EV sales are quite negligible. So what is the solution for this? We'll also explain this in this PPT. Yeah, Dhruv, you can
remove the drain battery and swap out with the new battery. This is now, as I said, only for bikes, but if for vehicles, if we can create at the rear end of the vehicle, if we can create a clip-on type where if we just place the car and the new battery new battery can be installed for like a magnetic clip-on, then it will save then it can be easier as the batteries weigh a lot. So battery swapping by this technique can be easier. Regenerative braking is, as we all know it, the car loses a lot of energy while braking. this system is implemented in few higher model cars, but if we can implement it in bikes and vehicles, then other cars, then it can be easy for businesses and other individuals to save battery and again increase the range and time. And again, like regenerative braking is regenerative suspension, where the linear momentum of vibration of the bumps in the road can get converted into electric energy. This again saves a lot of time and increases the range, but is still a little more on the expensive side as compared to what other businesses require. And integrated solar panels, so India is at a geographical advantage as it receives 300 sunny days. So if we have a integrated solar panel on the top of the car only.
Hello to everyone. So I'm just going to present the screen.
Yeah, and I request you to turn on your camera if that's possible.
Yeah, just please give me a second.
Of course, no problem.
So is it visible?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. So okay, so hello to everyone. We are team ABS, and my name is Anaushka, and I'm here with my team members Bhavya and Spandana. We are currently doing a first year in CSE.
Chargers in your area. This will work for anyone, not just for the current link. As you can see, I'm situated here and showing me the charging stations near me. Secondly, when so let's consider you are a new user who is trying to invest, who is trying to buy an EV. So the first thing he'll do, he'll check the charging availability in his area. If he doesn't find the charging availability, he can apply for a new charging station. So as you can see, we have given 3 options: for a small charging station, which is sufficient for 2 people; a medium-sized charging station, which is sufficient for 4 cars; a large size, which is sufficient to 8 or more cars. So if you are in a rural area and you buy an EV, so you can apply for a new small charging station. So now, as the problem statement says, encourage people in buying EVs. So when you place a charging station when you apply for a new charging station, and when it actually builds up, it will encourage more people in the area to buy EV because it will be a cheaper alternative. Also, government provides subsidies on tax as of now when a person buys a new charging station. There are some talks in which government will give the electricity at a cheaper rate or waive off some charges on that, which are there in the later phase. This is a basic sign up module which the user can sign up and his data will be collected. The main thing to collect this is there is no direct availability of data in EV which shows which areas are populated, highly populated or sparsely.
Just excuse me for a minute. Yeah, so let's say if my city is Mumbai. So which type of two-wheeler vehicle is so if we enter one, so it's for a two-wheeler vehicle. If your budget is 50,000 to 1 lakh, so I will enter 2. So these are your alternatives. So we can, there are a lot of alternatives for.
This can give exact details of every model available in the market. So like it won't recommend a heavy car to a person in the rural area because there are no
infrastructure
charging stations available in his area. So like the program will only recommend him some basic two-wheeler which is chargeable and can be charged at home. Also, the current process of form filling for a new is, and we are trying to reduce it by listing by our website and just any questions from your side?
Yeah, so what he was trying to say is as we go into rural areas like tier 2, tier 3 cities.
So it's not much. Yeah. So now we have just discussed about the problems. Now coming to the solutions, are these really solutions or opportunities for us to find further solutions? So So I have researched, gone through the internet and found that sodium ion battery breakthrough. So the research team, which is PNNL, has developed a sodium ion battery, which is greatly extended with longevity. The findings, which were published in the journal Nature Energy, it provided a promising recipe, or you could say structure for battery
site or something, and we were currently working on it. We are even after the time after 11:30, so there is some kind of issue. But we do have the API, right?
Yes, I will show it.
Previous slide.
Yes, Papu.
Which slide?
The location and availability, correct, yeah. So when you say availability of the charging station is checked, what factors are considered over here?
Distance for now, and if the nearest charging station, like if you're going in a route, and if it's in a route, or do you need to take a diversion, and if the diversion gives you like the smallest route available.
is being under development for the reduction of weight.
At least have some type of electric charging facility or infrastructure. It can easily boost the electric vehicle ecosystem there. Yeah.
So let me provide you knowledge base. It is very dangerous and it is very versatile to have an electric station along with gasoline or other.
Yes, yes.
This station
So
like
that's
petrol.
why we have a smaller model which can fit in small places and be isolated from the rest of the village, or if any safety concerns, if any there.
Yeah.
So this model is very good for small rural areas, as it won't consume much space. Also, we can add a inverter or something similar to like that, because there are power shortages in those rural areas, which can also be which the inverters can solve in the charging station.
I would also like to add some common workplaces, like in Mumbai, you see Kanjurmarg. So there are a lot of offices there. So a charging station near that place would be very efficient for people to go there and just charge them. So in the United States, actually, people have a charging station at work, and some companies even provide charging for free. So for our developing country, if not free, we can just install charging stations near the working places. So while the people work, they can charge their cars.
Yes, one of you share your screens, and I'd like to request all of you to turn your cameras on, if that works. Yeah, we can see your screen. You can begin. All the best.
Hello everyone, we are team Fubar and I am Adit. And today we will be presenting our solution to the EV problem in developing countries. So the problem statement in
Yep.
Yeah. So we've just taken. We've considered this. We of course can't use the entire map of city as of now. We've considered the entire western line from Churchgate to Virar, and we know the distances and if they have a charging station or not. We have also added, like, we can provide you all the station, all the uh, Western Line railway stations that have charging stations. We can give you the nearest four, which this function does. We can, of course, book a spot, which allows you to, like, the previous question was how if the spots fill up. Also have a book. We also have a function to book a spot, and by extension, which comes with it, we also have this we can get the vehicle, get the number of vehicles already in the station, or and the waiting time which that vehicle should cost. That's it.
In a real website, it would look like this, and the user can interact with the car, zoom in, and move the model around, and he could see if he likes the car or not. And the next thing is the cost calculator.
I don't have a question because I was disconnected and skipped most part of presentation.
That is unfortunate. Very well. Thank you, Technitans. If Prashant sir is satisfied and has filled out his Excel sheet, you can move on to the next two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we leave the meeting?
Sorry?
Can we leave the meeting?
Yeah, sure. Hacking New Year is your whole team here. Hello.
No, we don't have Yash yet. 2 members are here and 1 is not here.
Could you please ask them to join quickly?
Yeah.
Taking their budget, capacity, and their type into consideration, we have used a platform Carvale, and we have scraped their website and created an API which compiles all the data and shows the user the final output.
So here is the demo of this feature. When you click on the Find an EV button, you will be led to this form. So here, first of all, we have a drop down in which we can select what is the budget of our car. For example, right now, we'll take an example as 18 to 25 lakh.
No, is the whole team here now?
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got 10 minutes to present your solution to the jury. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yash, can you put up the PPT?
Hello? Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
It's about affordability price ranges. So because of this, we have to look into like how to overcome these challenges to make them more affordable for our sector, that is India. So basically the main objective of this presentation is to showcase like how we are addressing these challenges and to enable a cost effective and time efficient use of electric vehicles in developing countries such as us, such as India ourselves. Then moving on. So basically, the transportation sector in India, it is facing a very significant challenge. Basically, we all know how there is too much traffic congestion, poor infrastructure, like roads are broken, there are potholes, and like there are high emission. So basically, our country has the largest population right now and a rapidly growing economy, which has led to a significant increase in the number of vehicles on the road. And as a result, there is too much traffic congestion and pollution. So, and also the transportation sector is very heavily dependent on fossil fuels, which also contributes to higher emission of greenhouse gases. So in this context, there's a growing need for sustainable alternative that can address these challenges and provide a more cost-effective and reliable means of transportation. So here is where electric vehicles come into the picture and why we should like use more of them. And furthermore, in rural areas and small towns, the transportation infrastructure is very poor.
ZSEV. Okay, so would that be a feature where if I plan to buy this, and currently I'm having a petrol car, right? Let's say I'm using a petrol car. Would that be comparable here? So
Yeah,
let's
if
say
we had more data available, we could have done that, but we tried to find APIs which provided the data for all the cars. We could not find it. That's why we made a basic system. But if we had access to all the resources of the cars, then we could have done that.
yeah. Now this prototype seems to be right. It is correct. But I would suggest that if you work on this, no,
like it has 50.3 kilowatt hours and it claims to have 461 kilometers in a single charge, and it ranges around 21 lakh rupees. And the second one on the bottom right, it is a Hyundai Kona, and this one it is priced more. It is priced as 24 lakhs approx, and it provides lesser charge, which is lesser power, which is 39.3 kilowatt hour, and it also goes a little bit lower, which is 452 kilometers per hour, 452 kilometers in a single charge. So basically, like these were the two that I could find for the top best ones that are right now going in the market. And then moving on. So basically, to what my solution was for given the problem statement that we have to implement solar powered charging station, and we have to like build the infrastructure for them, and we have to obviously use government aided policies and stuff to implement them. So here I will just talk about what basically a solar powered charging station is. So solar powered charging station can be cost effective solution as they use renewables energy source, which is the sun, and this approach can help us reduce the overall cost of ownership of electric vehicles. And then furthermore, in urban areas, solar power charging station can be located in public parking areas, shopping centers, and other places where electric vehicles are much more likely to be present and parked for a longer time. And then an example here I've given Atom charge. So there's this
efficient where he would have to stop at one point and he could refill his fuel and move on to the stop or the destination. And then we had another alternative to that where the other person would get the opportunity to rest at by charging at two different points such that he would reach the So here a person is initially at point A. When we are in this prototype, we have given him the options to go to point B, C, or D in accordance to what destination he wants to reach. And in this way of going, he will encounter 3 petrol pumps in point B. In going to point C, he'll again encounter 3 petrol pumps, and the point D, he'll again encounter 3 charging pumps. So in this process, he will get the opportunity. Yatharth will run the code now.
Sorry guys, I'm unable to run the code. It was supposed by Nitya to run the code. Sorry, Rohan.
So now Yatharth will go on to explain the loopholes and advantages.
Yes. So the advantages of the system is ease of finding charging stations, as you can find the charging station near you according to your requirements. And the next advantages is ease of planning, as you can prior and plan the charging station near you. So we have some way to future that we can add, like some problems or loopholes we were facing, like it can't tell the time required to reach this station because of the traffic density in the park.
And that way we can efficiently utilize it. So the basic benefits I've listed below, like how improve reliability, improve efficiency, enhance security, reduce emissions, and basically like smart grid integration can help to improve the reliability, efficiency, and security of electric vehicles and infrastructure in India. So now basically in order to like promote the growth of smart grid integration and how like electric vehicles could be used to solve the potential of transportation problem. So we could also like develop a mobile application which should basically have these functionalities, like locate nearby charging station, check for availability of charging ports at those station, then start and stop charging, and then payment integration and charging history, like at each location, how much have you charged or not. So basically, as like they're very self-explanatory, like locate charging station, the application would allow users to locate the nearest charging stations and then check for availability of charging port. Like say, suppose if you found a charging station that is near you, like, but does it even have any space available there or not? So basically it is done for that. Then start and stop charging. So basically you could use a mobile app after plugging in to like control the charging status, and then payment integration because of. Yes, ma'am. If you have any questions or anything, please go ahead.
I have any questions. Just wanted to know, the mobile app you're talking about, is that built or that was just, like we
So,
can build?
ma'am, like, of course, it is in the developing stage. Like, I can just show you the basic front end web page only that I was trying to design, but like
Yep.
I had faced some problems, so I didn't like use it. But basically, ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yep.
Like, I just changed it right now. So
Yeah, I can see.
basically, like I did not submit this code because like I wanted to actually like integrate the Google Map API, but that required some billing account and stuff. So that's why like even here I've opened the Google API console anyway. So like I did not like I wasn't able to do that because like I did not have the account. So basically the idea was karke ki, like this would be the basic layout. Like there would be a Google map over here, and then you could like enter your current location and enter the distance, like in how much nearby distance do you want to find the charging station near you, and then you would search, and then accordingly it would do it.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much, Aditya. This was team 103. We're going to have one more participant come and speak on our panel. So if we could just.
Thank you, Team Buckslayers, for your incredible take on the problem statement. Next upon, I'd like
Thank
to
you.
call. Yeah.
Thank you.
You can leave the meeting now. Yeah. Next upon, I would like to call the team Hacker Ninjas to present their unique approach on the problem statement. Are they here?
So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So the topic of our presentation is sustainable electronic vehicles. Uh, so first, I would like to start by saying that we have taken a slightly different approach towards the concept of electronic vehicles. What we have done is that we have first identified the challenges to the sustainability and the cost effectiveness that are existing in the current models of electronic vehicles, and we have suggested some solutions to those. So first, we will take a look at the challenges. So yeah, the first thing is that the battery of EVs, the lithium-ion battery that is used, is a very expensive and unrecyclable battery. Also, the batteries aren't long-lasting. So basically, you have to replace the batteries in like approx 5 to 6 years of time. Then another thing is another thing that we are focused on is that sometimes while driving people experience a phenomenon called low battery anxiety, which means that we kind of have an anxiety that our battery changing the batteries or changing the battery or locating the station nearby. I'm just coming up with a different solution. But before going to the solution, I'm going to show some predictions about the EVs. So there are prediction one, the electric vehicle will continue to gain market share in the global automotive industry with sales projected to reach over 30 million by 2030. Prediction two, electric vehicles are expected to replace gasoline powered vehicles as the dominant form.
A bit of the projects that were presented. We are also appreciative to the entire jury who provided sound advice to all the participants, and I'm convinced that everyone present gained something useful. This finishes the qualifying round for Cyber Cypher 2.0. The results will be posted on our Instagram feed soon, so stay tuned. See you soon for the final round of Cyber Cypher. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much, judges. It was a huge honor and pleasure to have you guys here with us. Participants, you guys will get the results very soon. So all the best, and we'll see you all soon.
Crowdfunding. Like nowadays, there are EV stations in particular society, but not in particular area. Like people from particular society invest to build new EV stations for their society. But we are going with the same idea, but for a particular community. Like for example, an Andheri is a place. So people of Andheri will come and crowdfund the project. That's a new EV station. And the second is a software will also determine the best location to build a charging station based on various parameters like population, available spaces, cost effectiveness, and etc. So I'm just going you to just show the website we feel. This is the code. We have used technology like SwellKit, JavaScript, which can be attached on any surface to make that surface harness the solar energy for electricity. So the best part about these panels is that, as you may have heard, they can get attached to any surface, and it is a very easy method of attaching them as well. And as a result, what we can do is here is that the vehicle will automatically get charged while we are on the move. Not just that, when we are parked as well. So it is not necessary that we need a charging station to charge our vehicle. We can charge it anywhere as long as the solar energy is available. Mm, then another thing is that we also propose to fit retractable solar panels under the boot or somewhere or near that region. So what we can do is that when the car is in the parked state, we can extend those solar panels out again to harness more energy and faster charging. Another thing is Another thing is renewable. It is a renewable source and a sustainable solution. Also, if we use solar panels on the top and the bonnet, then we save on the cost of painting the top part. Therefore, some amount of cost is saved there. This is the model that I propose. This is a basic look on how it might feel to attach these solar panels. Another thing that we have done is made an app for this vehicle. And what does this app actually do is that it reads the battery level of the vehicle in real time. And another thing is that it automatically directs the driver to the nearest charging station if the battery level is lower than a certain percentage, which we can set. Also, another thing is that it sends the request to a charging station, which is the nearest charging station that it has detected. It sends the request, and the person over there can either accept or decline depending on if the slots are full or empty. Also, the battery. So another thing is that since we have fit solar panels on top, the battery won't drain entirely. So it's not like even if you are low on battery, you won't be entirely out of battery. So you can drive to some distance as well if the charging stations are full. So this is a dummy code that I created. And the output for this very code is like it first reads the battery level, which I have as of now given an input of 15%, and the critical battery level is set to 25%. That means we are under the critical battery level. So the station for a particular area. So that's a good point.
So have you researched upon the current cost of the systems and what the earning that a current station creates in a day?
In a day, we have not find out the
Not
cost in a
exactly,
day.
not exactly, but for example, let's say you have a station, correct? So
Yeah.
you should know that what amount of investment it requires and what output it create, right? So what investors are, right? Let's say I've come to a platform and I want to invest in some
Yeah.
EV station building, right? So
Yeah.
I should know the stats that what it would be a building, right? How much earning it will create? What is
Okay.
the
The
population of
invested
people?
amount is yeah.
What is the population of people nearby who are using the EVs? So that would create the earning, right? Because if a station is there and there are no EVs around, right?
Okay.
That will also
So
impact the business.
yeah. So yeah. The minimum amount required to install a station in a particular area would be approximately 50 lakh. But as per the location, we are targeting like for Bandra to cost of the price of the land. As per the calculating, that's all we are changing the price. So the generally income would be around like output earning would be around like 10 to 15 lakhs a year, I
Okay.
guess, as per the Google set. So that would be divided into the people who invested, and it's not like only the particular community of people can invest. Like I'm living in Lucknow and I want to invest in the EVs station. So if there is EV station in a particular place like Bandra and it's on a full-fledged booming, that this station is booming and people are going there, it's going there. I can invest money from Lucknow in the particular station in Bandra. So that's also a one plan.
Yeah, correct.
So we
So
need to
your solution would be majorly on the calculations, right? That
yeah.
basically the range of the station would differ from cities to cities and the company that is
Of course.
installing, right? So
Yes.
so main feature that you would be providing is the calculations, that how you
Calculation.
pitch to the investors who are visiting your website to invest in a particular station. That will create the output. So that is a
Yeah.
major focus you would be you have to do on your website.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, it's a great, unique idea to accelerate the use of EVs.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Team Cypher. Now we move on to Team Hacker Ninjas. So I'd like to call upon Team Hacker Ninjas to present their work. Are they here? Yeah, and if you could turn on your camera, any of you, if that's possible.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are the hacker ninjas. We're going to present you the product. Basically, the name of the product is EV Solutions. And moving on to the table of contents, we've got firstly the problem, that what exactly the problem our country is facing in regard to the electric vehicles. Like then we'll move on to the solution, that what solution we are here with, and then we'll show you the whole product, and after that we'll just conclude it. So yeah, so
Yeah, I'd just like to let you know of the time limit, which is 10 minutes. So just keep in mind,
yeah, okay.
and you could continue on with your
Hello.
presentation. All the best.
Am I audible?
You are, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we move on to the EV vehicle industry problem, and the problem is quite a simple one, that is maintenance. EV charging stations are an essential part of the growing vehicle market. However, they still face several problems. One of the main issues is lack of charging station in certain areas, which makes it difficult for EV owners to plan long trips. For example, for like if you're going from Mumbai to Nasik, I don't think there would be many charging stations along the way. Also, another problem
nearby, what the person can do is simply stop at any destination and let his car charge up. And also, we feel that with the model of solar panels that we had proposed, the paper thin ones, they're actually 18 times more efficient than the actual panels that we get nowadays. So therefore, the charging won't be as slow as expected. So I think it should be sufficient for the person to reach to his destination.
Okay, thanks. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Prashant, sir. Okay. I think Prashant sir is facing some technical issues. Please wait.
Thank you.
So can I stop presenting?
Yeah, sure, you can stop it. Prashant sir, is your issue fixed? The coding crusaders will figure this issue out. Well, thank you for presenting. You can leave the meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Siddhant, is your whole team here? Siddhant, is your whole team here?
I'm actually solo.
Yeah, sure. So you've got 10 minutes. You can present your solution to the jury. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I have basically come up with 3 ideas. I didn't really get to make the working prototype for any of these, and I've uploaded the presentation on the link. So my first idea is that I will develop an algorithm it will take the map of a city as an input. And what it will do is, based on the it will work out which spots will be the most optimal for installing charging stations for EVs. Because one of the most limiting things about EVs which first comes to mind is that where will we charge it, right, in the case of an emergency. So doing so can help charge it. So that's the first thing. And this algorithm will consider variables like the distance of a spot from roads and from other housing societies. It will consider the busyness of a road throughout the entire day. And it will also consider the road conditions. And I developed a small algorithm in my presentation file. And the second idea is an app which will, like, building off from the first idea, it will take the variables of a road, right? And it will decide whether that road is fit for EV use, right? Because in India, we all know that the roads really aren't really that optimal everywhere. There are a lot of rough conditions. So this app will take the variables which the engineers will input in it, and it will decide whether the road is fit for EV use. And this will help, obviously, it will help the civil engineers who design the roads. And it can also, a really niche use for it can be, politicians can think before like peddling the idea of EVs, right? Because like if a politician wants to like push forward the idea of an EV in an area, he can first decide whether that area is even fit for EV use, right? So that's the second idea. And my third idea is a website which will display EVs and conventional cars, and it will help customers compare in real time. And it will also have a review section for customers to see, and it will help them make like an informed decision regarding their purchase. Because obviously EVs are so new, most of the consumers in India don't really have a clear idea as to what EVs really are. So by watching the specs real time and comparing them to their already existing cars, they can realize that EVs really are the better option. So yeah, those are my three ideas. That was my presentation.
Valeri, say your thoughts on the presentation.
The second idea, I think it was great. As I got, you are going to check the condition. Is it good for EV or usual car? Yeah, to, for example, deliver or something else. Because according you said in India, it's not all roads are good to get some destination.
Oh, I'm sorry, could you repeat what you said?
Okay, so I mean, you mentioned in your second idea that, as I understand, you are going to create an application that will, for example, accept start and source and destination points, and you will suggest which kind of transport to use, EV or usual car, a gasoline car. Yeah.
No, not really like that. What I was suggesting is that it will consider the factors and it will just decide whether the road is fit for EV. We are not really talking about conventional cars.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all from your side, Valeri, sir?
That's all from my side.
Okay, so Prashant sir is facing a few issues. Give me Okay, thank you, Siddhant. You can leave.
Okay, I can leave.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Vector, is your whole team here?
It's just me. I'll be out here. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, sure, no problem. You've got 10 minutes. We're a little short on time. Could you please start presenting?
Yeah, just a minute. Good afternoon, judges. My name is Akshat Madikar. I'll be representing Team Vector. My project is Eon Right. So the objective of today's meet is to facilitate mass adoption of EVs. And the main challenges that affordability. So the key challenges are high initial investment in terms of purchasing the EV. As we know that EVs are usually 3 times as costly as vehicles that use conventional fuel, and also the lack of peripheral. EVs require a lot of peripheral infrastructure, and its lack will limits use and also dissuades people from buying the EVs in the first place. And if people and if individuals don't buy the EVs, um, it in turn dissuades people from building infrastructure around it. So this is a sort of vicious cycle, and the main root cause of this is the high initial cost. So this requires a two-pronged solution, that is maximizing the utilization of the EV asset, both in terms of the EV charger and also the actual EV electric vehicle. And the other is improving the infrastructure and expanding the network. So the solution for this is an app that allows users to rent out their EV assets, that is charger and also the electric vehicle. So this forms an income stream for both the electric vehicle buyers, as they can subsidize or even have a high rate of investment, a rate of return of investment, and also expands the network. So I have created a prototype for this app. So this is Eon Right. This is the app. I've used Figma to create the prototype. So this is a welcome screen. You can start. You can add your number to register. And after registrations, you have two options. One is to list your asset for renting. So if you press list an asset, we have options of 4-wheelers, 2-wheelers, charging station, and battery swap stations. And once you select it and after you register, your asset becomes listed. You can also track your asset, whether it's currently in use or not. And if you want to rent out your and if you want to be a user who rents out EVs, so you can select rent. You can select an option 4-wheeler, 2-wheeler, or you can rent a charging spot, which is currently not used by the actual owner. Let's say so we have two options here. So let's select this one, and then you can confirm your right and your place. So yeah. One line is maximum utilization of the asset. Yeah, thank you.
Valeri sir, your thoughts and questions?
Okay, so I understood your application. Yeah, you are going to book a charging station, yeah, or it's book like an EV car.
Yes, that's so you can either book it for yourself, or even and if you have a charging spot or EV asset, you can rent it out when you're not using it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Nice presentation. Okay, thank you. Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, our second panelist is having a few technical issues. You can leave, Akshay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nisarg, is your team here?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm solo. Yeah.
okay, so you've got 5 minutes. You can start presenting. I'm sorry, you've got 10 minutes. You can start presenting right away.
All right. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll start with it. So yeah, basically, I think by now even the judges are like well aware about what EV is. So I'm like not gonna talk about that. But during my research, what I found the main problem to be, in fact, in developing countries, there are multiple problems relating to EVs: higher cost, lack of like services readily available, etc., lack of spare parts, lack of service centers. But I found out that most of those problems are just caused by a lack of demand, because consumers aren't buying electric vehicles, because uh, basically because there are no services and the higher costs and everything. And because of that, there's no revenue in the industry, and things are not being improved. So according to me, increasing the demand, or even just slightly boosting the demand in order for the industry to use that as a catalyst, would greatly help the industry develop in India and in other developing countries as well. So yeah, basically my idea for this project was to open everyone to the world of EVs. That is in turn increasing the demand for EVs. So I found out that there are two main reasons for the lack of demand. One is lack of knowledge about EVs. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone right now is aware about what electric vehicles are, but most of them don't exactly know uh, how they compare to, say, for example, gasoline vehicles, and what options are available in the market, etc. The other point that also leads to a low demand for EVs is slow development of facilities like service centers and charging stations. So the idea for this project was to basically combat those 2 points, that is, inform the general public more about electronic vehicles and how they can buy them, how they can use them in their day-to-day life. And the other was to kind of improve the service part of the industry. However, I took a different approach, not with I'll explain that when I get to it. Sorry. So yeah, I created a simple HTML, CSS, and JavaScript website. It uses a map API by here. And so yeah, I'll just get to the website now. So this is the landing page. I did not have enough time to spend on this, but ideally this would be the page that would inform people about what exactly electronic vehicles are and how they can be or how people can change their lifestyle to adapt to using electronic vehicles. So yeah, that's it. I also wanted to implement one more page which is not there in this prototype, that is vehicles. That page would ideally be a list of all the available vehicles, electronic vehicles on the market right now. So uh, the end user could just compare all the options like on one page, instead of visiting each company's individual pages and then comparing the specs and everything. But yeah, this was the main idea. So on this page, I can basically search for my destination. Say for example, I want to go to Kulava, and I can just allow my location access, and it shows a route from my current location to Kulaba. And these other markers on the map are basically the EV charging stations. As of now, they are hard coded, so their coordinate values are hard coded into the JavaScript file. But in the future, they could be we could use an API in order to fetch the locations of the charging points. Ideally, this or like this entire process is being used by Tesla in order to improve their user experience, wherein I, as an end user of an electronic vehicle, just need to put in my destination, and it'll show me what particular charging points I need to visit and how much I need to spend at each charging point, and what my total trip duration will be. So that makes electronic vehicles like it basically removes the disadvantage of not knowing where charging points are, etc., etc. Now, even this solution does not ideally combat it does not improve demand, because there are still fewer charging stations, as we can see. So how do we combat that? So for that, I took inspiration from the open source nature of Linux, wherein I came up with the idea that people who have their private charging points, say for example, like in a garage, that the general public could access. So that is like not in societies. Ideally, it should be like a standalone house, probably, or even businesses like small cafes can even open up new charging points, and these individuals and businesses can basically add their charging points to this map. And when they are not themselves using those charging points, they can like basically turn them on, so that other people can locate those charging points on this map and use them, and in exchange the owner of the charging point could get some kind of an incentive. So what this would do is, until the demand for electronic vehicles increases, and the industry actually is earning something in order to put into services, we kind of have our own network of services, charging points, etc., so that uh, we are reducing the barrier to entry into this into using electronic vehicles on a daily basis in developing countries. And this idea could also be implemented in other parts, like say for example like spare parts. So individuals can also opt in for group buys of spare parts if they are not available locally. And this would again, like the same thing with Linux. This entire like it gives a community feel to it, so that also welcomes people more into the uh, electric vehicle universe, I guess. Sorry. Yeah. So what basically this project aims to provide is, it encourages people to a more eco-friendly lifestyle. It boosts the demand for electronic vehicles, and that helps the industry use that as a catalyst. And obviously it creates a better world for all of us. And yeah, these are the resources that I use. So the icons for the website are from Font Awesome. The Maps API is here, Maps JavaScript API. Stock images are from Unsplash, and the presentation is made using Canva. Thank you.
Well, sir, your opinion and any questions?
So, okay, so it was an interesting part. You described a lot about your project. Actually, I don't have questions.
Okay.
Only I have one question. So then you built a route, for example, do you use, for example, charge time, and you will calculate actual time to arrive? Do you have calculated this time with charging time during your route, or you skip it?
Oh yeah. So basically, just like currently Google Maps has multiple routes that we can take, even if they're slower. So in the same way, we can also provide multiple routes that may include fewer or more charging points, and the user could also input their particular model of EV. So we have data, and also the battery level that they are currently at. So we have their battery level, and we also have like how long will the battery last, or like for how many kilometers, or like for what distance will the battery last. And using that, we can provide them multiple options Yeah, but to answer your question, basically, yeah, it would include, so the time that the user sees would include the charging time also. But
Thank you.
yeah, but for that to be implemented, in my opinion, it would take some time because we'll need data, just like we have now traffic data. We also need traffic data for those electric stations, that fewer stations would be frequently used depending on their locations compared to other stations. So we also need to take into account that. And also, I forgot to mention one thing in my presentation. uh, the future scope for this project would ideally not be a website, it would be an app, something more like Google Maps, so that it's more convenient to the end user. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Great job.
Prashant sir, if you're able to, could you please?
Yeah, hi, yes. Um, I really like the way that he has addressed the issue of, but I find these ideas, your ideas are mostly on commercial, not commercial way, but more useful for the trucks because they need more of charging as of now, because as they have to travel interstate travel, they have to do that in order to transport communities from here to there. um Good idea, good presentation. All the best to your team.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
really
sir.
liked it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nisarg. You can leave the meeting.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Okay, with that, we're done with all the participants that would be presenting to our panel today. I would really like to thank Valeri sir and Prashant sir for being such a good judge, giving suitable advice and making this all possible. I would like to thank my team, Tanishq especially, who is helping me a lot, uh, and the whole of Techniques organization committee, because without them, Cypher would not have been possible. It was a pleasure hosting both of you. Thank you, sirs.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything, and it was pleasure to being part of this, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure for me to join you guys.
Yep.
Danish, I have scored each and every team as per my convenience. I believe you can see you can Juhi can see the changes, right?
Uh, yes. Joey, can you see the changes that sir has made? Could you give me a moment, sir?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So are we going to end the session now?
Yes, sir. The session is officially over. You can leave if you wish to.
Okay, great. Thank you, Danish. Thank you to all team for working so hard for this. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.